Hello, and welcome to Larry's Look at the League. I'm Lawrence Mangenje. So once again, and certainly not for the last time, Warriors fans are in disbelief and not happy with the manner in which the senior men's national soccer team performed in a World Cup qualifying campaign. Michael Nees' charges finished bottom of Group C after drawing South Africa and falling to Lesotho in very unbelievable circumstances. Michael Nees' charges have not scored a single goal in nearly 6 hours of football in the World Cup qualifying campaign. To help me dissect the team's performance and what is going on is a man who was their former team manager for 8 years. That is Wellington Mpandare. Well, welcome to Larry's Look at the League.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, viewers.
Indeed. To begin with, did you watch the 2 games against South Africa and Lesotho? And if so, what were your thoughts on the performance?
I hardly miss national team games. You know, I've been a supporter for the national team since they called me in Majaya in Boma's time. Remember, I was at one time their secretary.
Indeed.
Yes, so I always follow the national team, whether I'm the general manager, the manager, or I'm just as a fan. I don't miss any national team game because I'm passionate about football. I'm different from other people who just support the national team when they have a role to play. I support them through and through. This is why you find when they played against Rwanda in Nigeria, I went to Rwanda just to support them. When they played against Lesotho in South Africa, I went there with my own resources. So yes, I watch every national team game.
So what were your thoughts first on the South Africa game? South Africa needed to beat us to brighten their chances of qualifying for the World Cup, but it was a very tight game, and we ended up playing a goalless stalemate. Heroic performance from the Warriors, if you ask me. What were your thoughts on the game, the South Africa game in particular?
I knew that game we were going to either win it or get a draw. Because a lot of people don't even understand our national team. Because I've been involved with those boys and I understand how they perform. This is why you find, if you look at the game against Nigeria in Rwanda, we drew. Again against Nigeria and South Africa, we drew. And this is a top team, you know. In South Africa, the first game, yes, we lost. The second game, where South Africa were under a lot of pressure, Zimbabwe managed to hold South Africa. Why is it like that? We are bottom of the law.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we've managed to hold Nigeria home and away. Home as in South Africa and away in Rwanda. And then again, South Africa, when they needed those 3 points. To me, it's about the boys. We have a very good team.
Indeed.
Believe you me now, we have a very good team. But I know a lot of people out there want to go to Mpandare anopaying a good team yekuita seko. Chinoenderedza kuti netimu yakanaka Lari ndechekuti ukaona matambiro atakaita paNigeria kumba kwayo
Okay.
tikaiomesera zvokuti dei taigona kugowesa takaipedza zvairatidza kuti maplayers tinawo chatisina proper coaching and scouting, because we just need munhu anouya achigowesa bhora chete ndozvikudiwa. Vakomana paanotamba naSouth Africa naNigeria vanozvimotivheta vega. It's like playing against Dynamos Islanders or Cape United in Zimbabwe. Now zvava kuScotland nanaMosi. Munhu wese achitamba netimu idzodzo anochinja gia, anosimudza, ndozvinoita bhora. Hazvinei coach. This is why uchiona kuti Dynamos versus Cape United hazvinei neformula. Kuti kana kuti fomu yavo vanga vachitamba sei, hazvina basa Dynamos yakachiwina kuti kadzasangana. Munhu wese anenge ari motivated to play. So this is the same thing with our national team. Against Nigeria, the players were just motivated that, okay, these are the big boys of Africa, and want to prove to them that we can beat them. And they did it. They managed to hold Nigeria in those 2 games. Against South Africa, when South Africa needed 3 points, the boys said, no, South Africa, you will not walk over us. We'll give you a good fight. That had nothing to do with the coach.
Okay.
If you're understanding what I'm saying.
I do.
Come to Lesotho.
Yes.
Small team. Would you tell me that team yava who hold South Africa 3-4 days ago, inodyiwa Lesotho? Zirikudzoka back manje kuti Bafana, they're not motivated to play against Lesotho. Vanongoti these are small boys. Voisa gear pasi. Avachakwidza gejo. You understand? And then our performance, the way they performed against Lesotho, because Havana was motivated. They're playing against a small team. Same applies to the local league, where I was giving an example of a team playing against Dynamos. They will put 120% effort. As you go on going down Tambane Green Fuels or any other small team, coach. You see.
So, like you are saying, we've got the potential collectively as a group. I mean, the players themselves. Like you rightly said, Nigeria failed to beat us in the World Cup qualifying campaign. We drew against them even in the AFCON qualifying campaign. So what does that say about the pedigree of our players? in terms of getting results? And why are we not winning games? Because we are talking about a World Cup qualifying campaign in which 3 different coaches oversaw the team, but no victory was recorded.
That was the recipe for disaster, having 3 different coaches in the World Cup qualifiers. You see, when Nees came in, already we had given up on the World Cup qualifiers. Okay. So he was just coming in to fulfill the fixture. And this is why you find every time that he has an interview, he's concentrating on the AFCON, not World Cup qualifiers, because he took over from a difficult position. Yeah. Of course, mathematically, we still had a chance to then go through, but it was difficult because we'd used so many coaches along the way. For me, we needed one coach. I will take you back, Larry. Pasua, when Pasua was the national team coach, after the tournament, you know how the guys played against Finn Algeria in that tournament, Gabon. They did very, very well. Yeah. And after that, what happened? There was no continuity. Pasua was sidelined. And then come 2019, Sunday was the one who took the team to Egypt. The team did very, very well against Egypt. I'm sure all Zimbabweans were happy with the way the team performed. But there was a lot of confusion in camp in as far as remunerations are concerned. Players, first game, we didn't even sleep. I didn't sleep with Sunday until CAF guys came and addressed the players that no, guys, go and fulfill the fix. So they fulfilled. Grudgingly, they fulfilled against Egypt. Then after that, we're playing Uganda. Boys, we are just unfortunate we're supposed to win that game against Uganda. Then the guys were expecting their man. They didn't get their man. Come next game last game against DRC. We're just supposed to go beyond the group stage in that tournament. Indeed. And then against DRC, players were complaining. It was even worse. And most of the players didn't want to play in that game.
The DRC game?
Yes, they didn't want. Even George didn't want. You remember what happened with George when he said, I'm injured, and then Chipes came in. It's difficult to change a goalkeeper just before the start of the game. So it was, most of the players didn't want to play that game. And then we lost. We didn't lose because we were bad, Larry. It was because of poor management in terms of financial gains that the players expected to gain, the promises that were promised that were not fulfilled, and the rumors. Social media at times played a big part because players were told that there were 100 fans who came with a charter flight who were paid 5,000 each, and the players were saying if they can pay supporters 5,000, but that was not true. But it was that social media, and it got into the heads of the players, and the players said, no, why should we play for nothing when supporters are getting 5,000? That man should have been directed to us. And then against DRC, we performed this man. This is the same DRC, remember, that we played in the qualifiers. Indeed. They were number 3 in Africa. Yeah. We went to DRC and beat them 2-1 in DRC. It was after they had not lost a game in the last 11 years at home.
At a pegged stadium in Kinshasa.
Imagine. Yeah. And the same team that we're playing, because we were not, things were not in order. I know the Minister Kazembe came and tried to but it was too late. And then we lost that game. And to me, it was not because we're bad, but it was because of the preparations and the packages that the players expected. And then after that game, what happened? We Sunday then, for whatever reasons, he was threatened, and then he left. Okay. Again, there was no continuity. Then this suspension came, COVID, suspension, everything came. And then what happened? The team was under SRC. They would not even understand things like winning bonus appearances. They come up with their figures and they said, this is what the team is going to get. So we went with Norman. The players were not happy again because it was way, way, way below what the players expected. But the SRC said, no, this is too much for players. We can't give you too much. So this is what you're going to get. And grudgingly, the players, when their first game against in Senegal, the team played very well. We're unfortunate to concede that penalty. Against Malawi, because players were seeing that money was not coming. Yes, we had whatever the SRC had promised, they paid. But it was not enough according to the expectations of the team. Players, against Malawi, we lost. Then last game against Guinea, we beat Guinea. Okay. And we thought we were going to build from there. But then after that, Norman again was shown the exit door. So there's no continuity. We keep crying. Why can't we give these coaches enough time like the way that we've done with Nees? Nees apiwa tambo yakareba. Apiwa nguva ikuenda unotamba Morocco ma friendlies. Angani luxury kuturamba unotamba kukosafa kuti andisikuenda ndisemwe coach. because ane magames akawanda angikwanisa akaendera ku-UK kunoona maplayers ane time yekuona maplayers angainayo zvatiri kuti simukapowo local coach izvozvoka zvapowa nisi mari dzapowa nisi dzesedzi netime yapowa nisi nemafriendly dzapowa nisi esai mukamapa local coach anongotipa maresults because havasi kupiwa because local coach for instance Norman Mapeza was coaching FC Platinum unofunga kuti panotamba Dynamos neCape Town unoiona rini hapana because anenge achiconcentrate game rake maybe arikutamba netriangle but mupei full time tiri kupawo mari yanga chifanana nisi takupaiko zvino plan yedu ndeyekuti next World Cup tofanira qualify totangira like now iko zvino either after AFCON or before AFCON totanga kupa coach basa iro kuti chama ndozvawo kuita full time uri ZIFA coach.
Okay, let me take you back to the issue of my packages. We're not going to talk about figures, but you were the team's manager at 3 different AFCON finals. I remember in 2017 you were there, 2017, 2019 you went there, and then the 2022 one in Cameroon. What is it that is agreed upon with the players in terms of like the packages that they're going to get and how they get them? Why is it that tunozongwa situation whereby a team is selected, players go, but tunozongwa equal at the finals kuti paita ma problems? Paneta pre-tournament agreement hipi between players in the National Association with regards to packages.
Unoza zvinoitika mbora. Pane patanotamba neBotswana naloga vaiva.
Yeah.
Tainotamba away neBotswana. We needed a win. Takaita meeting. Pakapromiswa winning bonus. Mukanodzoka Botswana imi muchetika. But because uri kupromisa uchifunga kuti vana timu ichanodyiwa because kuti timu pahome takadraw neBotswana tinganowina Botswana. Saka timu inodi inodyiwa. Saka papromiswa mari waona double the normal winning bonus. Taenda Botswana tanorova Botswana. Winning bonus haina kubuda. Unzandoedza taura. So tine ma scenarios akadaro ekuti pane zvokuti pane expectations ema players kuti omana tichitanga kutamba tinoudzana kuti okay vakomana iko zvino zvika totora $1 ma qualifiers totora $1 ma qualifiers for win $1 ma qualifiers but katazowina ka takuenda ku AFCON ka mari inopiwa yekuti ma qualifier ya ma 450,000 the back then ka muri kuwana 60% of that money because ma qualifier pazo qualifier manje panozoyanya manje maudzokera back kunotanga kutaura kuti no hata kupai $2.
Okay, so in the case of the Botswana situation, a meeting was held, like you were saying. Promises were made to the players upon qualification. Are you saying the players were never paid, or the money that they agreed upon with
they were paid half
of the money?
Yes.
And is there anything, any sign of?
You see, zvinoitika kubhora manje Larry. Kubhora kunoita kwakafanana politics. Munhu akataura zvemari ka, asiye muruzivo womwe mari. Muruzivo womwe mari akatina nakuwirana is a board.
Okay.
Andisada kutaura mazita but ndikutaura munhu akauya akataura asiye muruzivo mwari muruzivo mari wakati aiwa ina ndina mari yekubhadhara vana vaini dai tatanga tawirana uyu mukuru auya akakuudzaika angotaurawo zvokuda kufarisa but kakawanda kacho vanhu vanenge chifunga kuti hatisi kuenda kunowina bhozi rakaoma zvakafanira kuti DRC kwatakanohwina kuyo chero kwainzi tokupai kana 10,000 vaibvuma nekuti vari kufunga kuti munganodya DRC kumba kwaemimi kwaisati yachikwa 11 years but mahwina manje ndopanotangaita maproblems aya anoitwa carry over kuenda kutournament pamunozvika kutournament again minge mapromisana kuti tichakupai mari yamahwina yekuqualify yaya tichakupai percentage kana 60%. Saka fanira unenge wachita metsi kama toika mese muchiwirana iwe unenge waudza ndizvo zvataurwa wapedza iwe samanager wapedza basa rako waudza zvukiri masvika kuya ndipo unoziona mafigures asiyana manje hazvichawirani zvamamadi matanga zvezvo matanga zvamapromisa muchitanga paya vafanira vanobva vatanga kuti haiwa ndokuvarira chi boza vafanira mugame zvavanoita manje vafanira vebhora vaya anenge achitambira kana 40,000 kuti timu kwavari kutambira kuya ewiki imi uri kumenisa unotambisa peanuts anondokuwara chi boza tina insurance kamunomu tiri kutambisa vana vaya mahara akakuwara it's a problem haana kana insurance.
Are you saying those players don't give 100%?
What I'm saying ndekuti kana pasina chokutambira player wangu player atambire muridzo ka
okay
inoda kutowana mari hapana player musanyeperana utanzi pane player inobva kunze kuuya kuzongotambira mahara no zvazvana kudhara zvana Peter zvese iko zvino izvo player kuziva ndezvemari kwanotambira kwawo right player iri kuwana kana 40,000 a week ikatotamba izvo zviyari kwava kunze kuya vane mawinning bonuses wo saka vanonge expecta the same kuti toa allowance plus winning bonus hapana because national team for that matter yonzi haina mari hakuna zvakadaro national team inofanira kunge ichitori nemari itongori kuti hatina kurongeka chete national team inofanira kunge ichitori nemari from government from the corporate world but muno hatina ndifunga ona Zambia chayanga itobhadhara even national team coach wacho yanga chimbhadhara but muno hatikwanise kuita izvozvo and then you start wondering kuti ko even vanofanira kunge vachibatsirawo vacho where are they Because if you expect those players to come here and play for nothing, my friend, I've been in that terrain and I understand those players. They will not play for nothing. They will not tell you that we're not going to play, but no not get you now dzikiswa. You understand? Vanotamba vanhu vaya musanyepero tinoti Zimbabwe inotamba. Hapana team yatata Algeria chaita kai holder munomu. Algeria. Saka you can't tell me kuti hatina ma players nhasi mangwana. No. Tinawo ma players. Hatina ma coach, hatina support system yacho inodiwa, hatina continuity. Umwe auye kuti ZIFA board member magwizi akabva nhasi pari kuuya umwe achiti vanhu magwizi vese handivare otanga panyuwani futi umwe uyewo futi iko zvino remember we had covid remember suspension so all those years hapana bhora ranga chinyatsoitwa muZimbabwe covid and suspension hapana, let's be honest, hapana rachiitwa. We are fortunate that we have players that are playing abroad who can still come and play here, but in terms of continuity there's no continuity. If you ask me, if you ask Nees today, when he came in, did he even try to talk to Norman? I was talking to Norman yesterday. He never even tried. They haven't even spoken. But Norman ndiyangani team kwa kumashuro. Ndiyakaenda kwa AFCON kao. Ndiyangana yakatomaenda malawi kwa friendly here. Coach mnyuwa na uya chichi nomutadza kuti aende kuna Norman. Norman imbondudzo wakaona sei. Uya kamira sei. What brief. It's not like Norman anouya kuzocoacha team, but anompo background the team zvazvakaita sei. But muno munhu unoda kutanga wega, kuexperimenta wega. No, he can't experiment with the national team. Unfortunately.
Well, let's go back to the Botswana issue. I remember the national team was under the guidance of Zdrako Logarusic, the Croatian. You repeat, we are not organized at the top there. When we qualified for AFCON in 2021, reportedly, Logagapo was the qualification bonus.
Yes.
And
it was paid during NC time.
It was paid during NC time.
Yes.
Loga came to Zimbabwe at a time when we already had 4 points. Having won against Zambia and drawn against Botswana. That means the campaign was halfway through. And I got to oversee the campaign to its end. Teaming a qualifier going to AFCON. How is it possible that Coach Anopiwa qualifying bonus aga oversee a year half of the campaign, and yet my coaches are going to qualify as a team previously, the likes of Anna Mofu, they have never gotten a qualification bonus.
It's our contract, Larry. Is our contract. This is why you find even ukaenda ku Arsenal my team kuyo unaona ma player anotori nemasala akasiyana siyana in contract yako. In India I was given that option in when I negotiated as the general manager kuti if the team qualifies for AFCON you get a percentage. What is it that you want? You ndikati no, indeed I don't want no percentage coach because I just set up series oka indingi ndaura tichi wina coach aruseta zvakanaka in as the general manager arikuona welfare yafanaka nezvimwe zvese I don't want to be tied to my results ndakairamba idhira ngari richi offer so when you negotiate any coach can request for that because if you are coming in as a coach you say you want the team to qualify for AFCON you want them to qualify for World Cup you know what you get. Okay, I'll give you an example of qualifying for World Cup, just for argument's sake. Say the team gets 10 million and then the coach is brave enough and say, okay, I want 1% of that 10 million. Okay, that's a brave coach. Yeah. And then it means his salary, he's getting salary, he's not getting winning bonuses and appearances. His focus is qualifying the team for the World Cup, where he will get $1 million. You understand? Yeah. So this is what Loga said. And I had that option as well to get a percentage of the 450,000. Then Loga said, no, I want 10% of that. I also had an option to ask for 10% of that. But I said, no, I want my winning bonus. I want my appearances. Yeah. Because I don't want to fight with the coach when he starts playing around with players and not getting results.
Let's talk about the players, Wally. You were GM for a couple of years, and you were on the forefront of bringing a lot of British-born players into the national team. I remember talking to you at some point, you were trying to convince Reyes Nelson to represent Zimbabwe. You played a role in the Reno Motor issue as well. Do you think the British Brigade is the solution to the Warriors' problem?
Any player, Larry, that is Zimbabwean, that is good, should be looked at and be considered for national duty. When I was the manager for Under 23, I came through, Kundagava Pass. I was at one time manager for Under 23, 2009, 2010, 2011. Yeah. I was the first one to look at that issue. And this is why I brought in Trevor Mtero. Okay. Because and then after that, when I was the acting manager for the senior team, because Sharuf, the then manager, sometimes when he doesn't even come for national duty because of his church. I started then looking at all the players that were born in Zimbabwe that are eligible at those that were eligible to play for Zimbabwe. I had a list of back then 48. Obviously working with the other guys like ZIFA, the mystery, because those guys are very passionate about that. And I said no. If they know some of the players, of course I know. I did my own research, but those guys would watch every game. So I then enlisted the help of Mr. Chipere, and the guy is very good when it comes to foreign. He has so much information about the foreign based, and he has connections as well. So we started working together. I brought in the likes of Darikwa, Admiral Muswe, Jordan Zimbabwe, a lot of players, and it was not easy to bring those players. I remember when we were talking to Jordan, we had to go, he was still very young, we had to go through the father, and condition that I was given that the father needed a Zimbabwean passport. So he needed help. It was COVID time, so we had to go around. I spoke to the ambassador, Kelly Okasan in the UK, facilitated the father's passport, and then it was easy to get Jordan Zemora. Okay. So, to answer you, we have a lot of Zimbabweans out there playing for big clubs. Look at Meuka. We're not scoring goals, but Meuka is playing for Chelsea. At times you see him sitting on the Chelsea bench, doing very well for England under 21, scoring goals. But we don't have strikers. We play with 4 strikers. Why don't you bring him in? We have the likes of Nyoni. Nyoni has been playing for Liverpool. Honestly, why can't we bring in a Nyoni? I understand when the coach went to England, the way they went there is not the way. England kwakasiyana nekunokutoda unoona division 1 ungumuka waenda unoona Agama itamba neChinoy Stars kana kuti waenda unoona Mombe Aora itamba neCranbourne. No, zvakasiyana. Unofanira kuvanyorera. Ndikuuya ndini Zimbabwe national team coach, tikuuya na manager, toda kuzoona uchima players, so that paunosvika mugame vanokupinza mudirectors boxes woona maplayers ayachitamba. After game you are given the chance to talk to the players, but vanhu vakangoenda unge vari ngoenda kumombe, you understand. So hazvina kuunza results, required results, because kuenda kwavo kwakaenda honestly hatina kukwanisa. If you can't convince Meuka haanetse. Baba wake ndakava manager inino, right, kuGanas, baba vaMeuka. You see how akava manager. So vanhu vekuti unotaura navo kuonza Meuka mufana taura achitambira kuona.
But is it as easy as it sounds, Welly? Because if you look at a player like Trey Nyon, Bafana isinye kuti vanenge vatanga kumbotira kuEngland, are they really committed to the Zimbabwe cause?
No. Bafana vanongoda love chete. It was not easy to convince Dariko.
Okay. Take us through the process of convincing
it's not easy. It's not easy. Like I said, ndachana na mystery uya. Anezvo anogona mystery. Mystery chinhu wancha anogona ndechekuti anoenda kumaplayers aya, oenda kuima-inbox kwawa.
Okay.
Unyungunya ari kuseri ikoko waona. Unyungunya ari kuseri ikoko waona. Abafana vaya zvinonetsa, but if you are committed to it, zvinobuda. Because isi tiri kuvada, tova a bit hesitant. Tomboti tiri kuvada, tomboita kunge tisi kuvada. But kana wada munhu ka, it's like uda musikana iwe wanakirwa nemusikana. Unoita unongoona kuti ndide chete ubva ngokuda ipapo. No.
It's a process.
It's a process. Same with those players. It was difficult to bring in, especially Dariko. Dariko was difficult, difficult. But then Dariko manje was West Boys, angasangana background because Zimbabwe angasanda zvoziva, and angasana relationship na Mdara imwe kuti Mdara wake ndiye anofanira kumuconvince, you understand? So when you have a player and a baba asiri kumuconvince futhi, it becomes difficult. But when you look at like instant Meuka, baba wacho wakatambira Ghana, some of us managed him. Munhu kuti unotanga kuconvince baba wacho. Kuuya kuno. But iko nune hapana ari kumboenda ka. Would you say kuti pane munhu anyora aenda una Meuka anotaura naye? You can't just write a letter to we are national team just like that. No. You need to engage properly. The father, wovona baba kuya wenda kubabotaura neplayer yavo, mwana wavo I mean. Then it's not easy, but we have to do it. Look at Cape Verde. Ya qualify World Cup. Why? If you look at the composition of that team, all the players are based in Spain, in France, all over the world. And your team yarushandisa. Yes, local based. We're not saying varipo vanachilai varutamba one. Atimboshura varipo vanotamba one. Namuriro vatamba one. Tinge vanozoblenda nevafana vaya vauya. Then we end up having cream chai. Tinawo vanhu varutamba. And tinawo hatifaniri kutya kuvashedza. Ngavauye vatambe vafire. And the unfortunate thing is like, I will take you back when I was the general manager. Sunday, when Sunday was the coach, I told Sunday, let's use the players that we want to use in the AFCON qualifiers. Kuti tambe mukosafa. And let's not waste Kosafa. Tichenza ma players because because unataka waste those players takaenda Kosafa vatamba ku. Takaita under 17 yakajikwa better one. Taiti vaona experience voyo utamba tournament. Hapana utakaita pa ndiaro wangu ndozakaenda Kosafa kuti chamshandisa papi. each group ipi yatakaendesa hazvina kana order one taitora team yedu all my fringe players atofunga tanokwana nevajaira vacho vaya combination yanyasha nanakamba isinyatsoonekwa isati yambonyatso dai mukosafa yemhande yakomanande motamba takazviita isina sanda yekutanga yacho takaenda kusansit takaenda idu nevamwe vana ovid chichi tikati ovid nevamwe nananox handitika tikatamba bobo tikazoti yechitu yacho tampolokwane yaya vese vanga vapa nakama vana tino vese vakatamba tikawina patakarwa Zambia pamba because taiprepare taiziva kuti chatamana naDRC vari number 3 muAfrica and aungoenda zvichiwaiwai kunotamba netimu dzedzi so then maplayers anga kujela there was cohesion with the team and the understanding kakapo afanira tatoziva kuti vanodii vane zvazvapo tauenda kuDRC tanowina chiyangwa chayakatombopopota achiti maenda kuZambia patakaenda notry vana muso nevamwe kutournament kuZambia tandapa 3 games tikadraw ese changwa wapopota majikiwa team kati ndonoudza vanhu vari kubvunza majena sampa pressure vaudze kuti aya magames aya ndekuprepare hatisi kuverenga results but pamuru AFCON yatutanga maqualifier ndipo pamuchiona team yedu yakaipa sei takamuratidza team yakaipa tikabva taqualify so zvinodiwa kuti magames ese then we should not take them for granted because it's money that ZIFA inenge isa mari paya patakaenda Morocco paya ZIFA isa mari kukosafa ZIFA isa mari saka coach relax achinde team even the luxury kuti ndo resta ma players ku resta Zimbabwe situation tiri iko no resta player kuti yaiti munhu wese ngawe titambe then wawane first 11 because unotengesana hatina first 11 ukatika kubvunza iyo panapa ukaona mabhora ese yaone first 11 yako ndiyani on strike we national team ndiyani hapana because we wasted an opportunity Morocco and I think ZIFA play yakagona also in terms of in as far as arranging my friendly matches taizvishaya isis time yedu tasingazviwana sterek tasingawani taitoshandisa kosafa yacho tingatishandise ma players even you remember when we went to Egypt ndakaenda ne34 ma players ku Denver kosafa tikanotambisa post play kwendao understand this is the opportunity apiwa foot the new coach Aripo but I think he didn't utilize that opportunity.
Okay, you mentioned your preparation as one of our biggest letdowns. Key as hope in terms of preparation is the welfare of the players themselves. Where the situation ahead of the World Cup qualifiers when Sean Fusire pulled out of the squad, either a certain class a plane ticket cannot. How do those things happen at national team?
Those things they're always there.
Okay.
Most clubs are not comfortable having their players in economy class because of jet lag, because most of them would just fly immediately after the game. Because remember, for national team, you only have 3-4 days to prepare. A player who plays on a Sunday is expected to get his flight on a Monday, preparing for a game on a Friday. So those players are supposed to be business class. Because we are not that rich, we can't afford business class. I had an arrangement with the players that we give them equivalent of economy and then they top up. I have so many players, I can even name them. We have that kind of arrangement with so many players. Leon even didn't want Tino to fly in the economic class. At one time, they even wanted to charter a flight for him. You understand? That's how serious those clubs are. Even Mave, at Aston Villa, quite a number of players. So I had that arrangement with them that, okay, fine, because we want to treat everyone equal. Because we don't have money for business class. If I buy a business class ticket, it would mean that I would have to do business class for every other player. So I would then say, okay, I'll give you equivalent of economic class, then you top up the difference. So the boy was right. All they needed, because also ZIFA owed the boy some money. If I was there, I would have said, okay, look, this is a different situation. He's not going to top up on his own. But because we owe him some money, why can't we just use that money to buy his business class ticket? Okay. It's not anything unique. It's not anything unique. I was actually surprised that we could have a problem like that because it's not unique. This has been happening. But because there's no handover, takeover, continuity, maybe the other guys would not even understand those things that they were there. Yeah, because if you look at it properly, you find that even if they buy a ticket for Nakamba might not even use that ticket. He buys his own. You understand? So it's about continuity that I was talking about. When the new manager came in, okay, I reached out to him, but he said he was not playing any role. He was just a figurehead.
The current team manager,
yes,
you mean
Clement. He said he was just a figurehead. He doesn't
have the power?
No, he doesn't call players. He doesn't. All he is just. At one time, they left him when they were going to South Africa. So it's pity because I wanted to help him because he's my youngster, you know, he's my young boy, and I like him a lot. I wanted to help him. Given a chance, I would have helped him a lot, and so that he could at least understand some of these things. Yes, because you have situations where I'm told a player lost his passport.
I was about to ask you that. How do you have such an administrative boom at national team level? You ahead of a World Cup qualifier.
Yes.
You hear that a player is now not able to play in a World Cup qualifier because supposedly he lost his passport. In this case, we're referring to Tawanda Maswanis. Who is responsible for that? Who holds the player's passport? And how does that happen in national team level?
It's the manager. Every time when we're flying, this is my policy. Tichitoka pa airport, ndakabata my passports. So tunoita mabhegi akawanda national team anendova pa kit manager face unomacheka in kuseni. Kitubva muno Zimbabwe. Chisvika ku airport passport ndinawo mbeki. Passport odindiswa segroup. Ndodzora futi mubhegi. Passport apo players. Kusvika musi wokuti anodzokera, player akudzokera tapedza game, ndopanotora passport kwandiri. Ndindogara nawo passports. Panochekwa passport mu dressing room payata kuchekwa na commissioner na referee paya. Passports ndinawo. Achingopedza futi ndopandokupa player kuti bati passport yayo. Achipedza inspection iya mubhegi mangu futi. Ukadaro unoavoida zvinhu zvakawanda. Passport agari nemaplayers azvitwe nyangwe zvoita sei. Chero muchienda kupi, because chero muchienda kunyika inoda visa ndiwo unenge wakamabata. Anongoitwa segroup. Alright, Algeria tichitoenda ndokupa example ya Algeria. When we went to Algeria, ndakabata passport ese. Loga ndopakazondinya kufarira loga because my first days anga singandidziza. Ndabata passport ungosvika timu chitipina embassy indasara nepassport paya. Passport ansara woitwa visa wodinda. Timu ingati wako hotel udara. Amira unodhindisa kama makamira kuti dhindai no national team aizo izvo. National team ingosvika maplayers oenda passport oitwa zvanoitwa osara uko oitwa. Either manager osara achitisa ozotera nawo.
All right, so maybe out of curiosity, if you're saying the claimant does not have the power to make decisions or to conduct duties in the Warriors fold, who is the team manager?
No, I don't know now because that was back then when I reached out to him. I'm fan of Pinda Paji, all the best. No, for now I'm not doing anything. I'm just a figurehead. I don't know now if that was NC time. I don't know now because I've never tried to reach out to him. Maybe things have changed now. But in terms of passport, the procedure is you don't give players passport. However, they've been kubata my passport by airport adindwe. Buruva deben mshindaka Polokwane or Joburg adindwe. Domestic. Hapana bandoti ndomupira player tatipedza kutamba neSouth Africa inspection pangoita ndamatora ndaisa mbeki ndomadipa airport tungoenda kunoshowa ava players edu ndo team yedu yopinda wodi kana variwo vanoda kuomesa ndona face vachingopedza ndotora passport yangu ndoisa mbeki because vanhu vanokanganwa players ukangovasiya because une risk yekumaluza kwamasiya out of maybe 30 something people pane risk yekuti pane one anogona kurasa.
Players are humans also, eh?
Exactly. So my chances for you to limit my chances ekuti araswe machengete iwaona but ukamasiya une 40 vanhu vakabata yaka pane high chances ekuti out of 40 pane 2 vacharasa. So you have to make sure to limit my chances ekuti passport anorasika.
Okay. We are less than 2 months away from AFCON. Well, we are going to Morocco. We are in a group that has got Egypt, that has got South Africa and Angola. We haven't scored a goal in the last 4 games. But according to the coach, we are preparing for AFCON. 2 questions there. Firstly, do you think Michael Nees is the right man to lead us to the AFCON? And do you think this team has got the potential to break the jinx of failing to qualify for the knockout stages of the continental spectacle?
For me, Michael Nees has failed.
Okay.
We have never given any coach time yakaita siyata panisi. So kwandiri ndikuti magames akaatadza kuwina larika. Tikataka kudyiwa na Lesotho. Na Lesotho atorwa. You know Lesotho same team iyo yeye ndoita tamba nemchani. Ina ramani takaidya yeye mchani.
Yeah, but his defense
ndikuti nini? Okay, come in.
His defense is the mandate was to qualify for AFCON and it was achieved.
Manje tikatabhora kudaro katiri kuenda kupi. Tobva tati chigwe yenyu apa. Alright, tiri kuprepare ka. But show us kuti wa prepare team ichanotamba ku AFCON. But from his defense yake kana vakagarira pasi vakadaro uye vakamupa izvozoka. Hasi webhora then. Boza ungati mabhora ese atichigwana na Lesotho kuti ndiri kuprepare kuno wina uko. Taifana kudyiwa 2. Because nothing at the tap animal level, you takuru and Lesotho, where I could choose what Tuntamana Egypt and South Africa to Zija. But Tikatisis Munaru prepare, or Jigoma game, Sekumashuro, I going to prepare. Angarma World Cup qualifiers, and not customer rankings foot. What does it mean now for us, the next World Cup qualifiers? We're starting from the preliminary round because our rankings are very, very bad. And then we play around with my emotions and my fans. Could answer notices Munu Gajigwe 7 games because in Gango in Namibia, 2 Waka in Namibia, which what the rest of Mwesa and Abasa, they were chatting with Isaku Afcon. It did dreaming. Hakuna Zokadaro, Ulari, Hakuna, if we're serious about football, the guy is failed.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with him as a person. Yes, he likes me. I like him. But in terms of my results, the guy is failed dismally. Whether they had an agreement, can I get agreement here? Agreement here wrong. I see a board agreement here. But in that case, they are Ajigiwa, she's a Timiaga, Yaku and the Manju Gazan, strike, I go to the Gazamuno, Gutano to Pachi, and to pay my results. If I ask you, give me a time so to strike with Angaran. One who touches the Pama goes in the end. So she shall Gazira, Larry. Shall Gazira, you okay? No Nees will give us results in Morocco. Because we can see with the strike a Gazrega, Gutamba. Out of the principal last minute, last game, Relo Sot, Pangacha, Prince Angambo, Sweetwa. Confidence, Fanayana, confidence. Mamura was the Argo Sakaga. But Tamura, because Prince is not, for me, Prince is not a bad player. Because I know petition and I even Logache against Algeria. Arba bench Logate, Prince is a lucky guy. Prince will score with anything. Chovaja Pinza, in the Zujuagan Skachidi. Achigoesa. But uimfana aura of confidence iko straight. Nanis aura mfano ya. Mfano ari Prince akanyarara. Ago nutaura, taure munaka is a nice boy. Akanyara quiet boy. But ndusi ziwafana the way they are no operator brain. Vano anaka kuchka. Indigo na aura of confidence mfano ya. Apasina kana confidence. Sakata gazirana. Taidita kaita nguwe gazirana Prince tona zoshota Prince anorisimudza Morocco. Apiwa mkana. But kwa fumi anapo mkana. And this is the same coach who couldn't tell us out, okay, maybe China differently now before tournament. But who exactly are we going to play as our striker? Who exactly? And they were taught my wingers. Now one day, Msenda Mambo Pisa, Msenda Mambo Shairwa, Ambo, Wafana Vaya Panos, Tampanos, the shades of part of Mtambe, and I was not confidence, because Araku impress, because Ambo Shairwa, Araku impress. Upon at Tina first 11. So at the end of the day, it will be difficult for us to believe in Nees will do miracles, especially considering the group. But the beauty about Zimbabwe, if you look at the group, Zimbabwe can beat South Africa, Zimbabwe can beat Egypt on their own, even without a coach. Because I know against Egypt, they will be motivated to play well. And they will play very, very well.
Okay.
But come to Angola, one will lose.
Okay, so if you had the power to make that crucial decision in terms of what needs to be done at the AFCON finals in Morocco, you were very, very blunt in saying Michael Nees has failed. What would you do if you had the power to make decision? Sack him and then what? Bring a local coach? And if so, who?
You know, when I went for Tendendoro's funeral, I was seated with one of the executive board members of ZIFA. I told them that they should make a decision. They make sure whoever is going to come should play even coach the team in the last games of the World Cup qualifiers. They should have given whoever the new coach time, because Nees failed a long time ago. And we all agreed that he's not doing well.
Okay.
And then I thought they would, and they said they were going to look at it and, all those kind of, we're going to look at it and then make a decision as a board. But they were slow to make that decision. To me, there's a time that we all agree that Nees will not take us far. So this is when they were supposed to make that decision and bring in a new coach.
Local?
I really don't mind. Local, or because local coaches are not treated the same way that we treat foreign coaches. I've been through the train and I understand this, and I'm talking from experience. There's no local coach who has been paid 10,000 a month.
At the national team.
Some of them, even Pasua, is still odd. Norman is still odd. They are not respected. They are not given the same respect that we give to foreign coaches. I don't even know why. When we see, I don't want to sound like I'm a racist, but we don't give respect to our own. We don't promote our own. We don't. Because at the end of the day, when you look at our local guys, we think they're not educated. We think they're not up there with the rest. But when you bring in a foreign coach who is not even coached at the highest level, if you bring a foreign coach, bring me a coach that is coached at the highest level. Not a coach that has coached the under-21 in Israel. And then if you look at his results, they're not even impressive. So I wouldn't mind if they're being a local coach or a foreign coach. But if it's a foreign coach, he has to be, way ahead of our local coaches.
Can we afford one?
We are affording this. Okay, for instance, I was the general manager of the national team. I had an opportunity to liaise with a lot of coaches, top coaches. What Nees is getting, top coaches would want to get that. Because not a coach learning this varikuya muno madogeza maCV yawo. Ona. Vanogeza maCV. Ona kaunza Zambia Arena kuti akazita sei. Wabona ko varikukata izvi. Autora big isingaiti nokata. Qualify sakata ku World Cup. You understand? Akachibokonja France female team. Akaisiya mu last four. Uko iko zvinoaenda nekata aenda ku World Cup. CV yake yakwira but atangira pa Zambia. Ufunga Zambia aitora mari. Aitora ma10. Vanoda vakawanda vanotora mari idzodzo. You be surprised. Because takakanya wese Brito chaiche. Let's now enter Brito here.
Okay.
Letakamuona Brito because ndakaenda ku Rwanda when we played against Rwanda in Nigeria. You could tell that this guy kwampa time ka ari kuziva zvaari kuita. Ari kutoona. Watomuona kugadzisa kwaari kuita even team yatanga kutamba paya tamba rechi 2 game against Nigeria. Watoona there's something chinoda kuti tikapa napa.
We should have won that game, eh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So waitoona kuti pane zvikuitika. But takaite tikamurega akaenda. Tikanzotora chi uyo whatever takaona pari. I don't even understand because people play around with my emotions about Zimbabweans. That's right, so
So look, like you are saying, we've already failed and we have already not done well in terms of like preparing the team for the AFCON finals. Now, what needs to be done in the last few months? Because in Diaripo, there is no indication that he might be shown the exit door. With Michael Nees in charge, the AFCON is there in December. Between now and the AFCON finals in Morocco.
Nees Aripo definitely planning for fail. Hapana zvatu planner. Hapana miracle. Let's not expect miracles. Problem yedu kuti we beat about the bush tichinyepedzerana. If even ndayongori coach lari ndaikudza bro wangu siyana nazvo izvi. Izaramba izvi. Iye ega should be man enough not kuramba ari paya paya. Anodire kuti vanhu vazopedzera vati mufaro ari mufaro muya komana iwo utidyisa. MaZimbabweans very very patient. But pa ukaramba mchivatesta. One day anonzi mufaro munhu anodhonzoya. Kuti watikuwadza watinyanya because look atadza iye should be man enough kuti no I failed. Handina kukuenda ini ndaguma ndipapa paya patakatoona aguma tiri kumumanikidza kuti anoita mashura kutournament but munhu yagumirwa atoguma asvika pekupedzisira paceiling pake coaching yake tazviona zvapera zvadaro vanhu paikamboita panani paSouth Africa uchida kuona timu yagumirwa sei vanhu vapa credit kuna Kaitana paSouth Africa chap if you're following even most group says people say ndikaitana aita zvatibuda. But for me, my players, because they were just motivated playing against South Africa. So to me, preparing for AFCON with Nees, I'm really worried because I'm buying my ticket next week. But I'm really worried.
You're really worried.
I might not even buy it. If what you're telling me is what the ZIFA board is thinking. If they're thinking of keeping Nees, I don't know what they're seeing in him, honestly. Bora aride shamwari lari, aride kushanda nemoyo. So kuti ndokudzira tsitsi bosi tombodzwanana tatakuwirirana saka ndoda kuramba ndinewe mazivasa asipo aiwa munhu ngaendeka kana mazivasa asipo munhu ngaende ndo zvawavinga iwewe kuti uratidze kuti unogona but as far as we are concerned as Zimbabweans Nees has failed dismally. There's no sign yekuti Nees will improve.
Do you think he's worse than Log?
At least Log managed to go to Zambia tikaona result. I mean to Botswana tikaona result. Logan atombowana mukana yakadai kutamba mamwe magame akatotamba of course akaenda kukosafa but vanhu vaya ivese vakafanana alright ngatingoti vese vakafanana the same opportunity yakapiwa Loga neyapiwa Nees nemari dzavapiwa idzi ukapa Loka waka iwe tainodya kudhera sima kosafa yaita yamawina yaitawina naSunday kocha akunetsa iko zvinochi asi kuwina kuti Loga wacho kosafa hatina Nees wacho hatina aitoramba kuenda kukosafa achitoti magame asina basa. Saka tiri kuti chiisisi unofunga dai anga ari local coach upo timu ikosafa oramba kuenda munoita sei aida achiripo kana imi vacho vanonyora chaiva vanhu vanonzi vanonyora vaida vakati ngaabve ngabve but suppose murungu anobva atyiwa vanhu vanotya kunyora vanotya kuti munhu ngaudzwe aiwa hapana zvaari kuita munhu uya murungu ari tiri kupa mari an expatriate coach kana asina ma-results ngaaende zvina tiende tisina kana coach kana kungoendesa chero wataendesa.
But look, after the Lesotho game, Jay-Z came to his defense, saying, look, it's not about the coach. We miss too many chances, and we have to take responsibility as players. Remember, that's the same Jay-Z who was criticizing a local coach when he was not happy with Norman's method. Do you think there comes a time when the players have to do their own part to make sure that the team wins. Coach aita zvese zvaanengaita.
You see, inine wetikatorwa lari kana tiri mastrike enational team aya machances anouya kwatiri asingaite asi tisingagohwesa but handimisa ipapo ndicoach ine watisa mutimu ndicoach machances anotouya but hatife takagohwesa bcause hatisi mastrikers.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Ndikutarisa team iyoyo yakuti haida kuti agohweswe nani machances mutimu any game anotongocreatwa. That's the whole idea. I can take you back to club and support us now. Tieri writer 18 machances ogohwesa 4. So machances agara mofana kuti macreate kamutimu utongo create machances but if you can't convert, what do? You look at the caliber of the players that you have. You look at the kind of training that you have and then it then goes back to the coach kuti wakava trainer here finishing munoita sei training for you to improve on finishing. You can't tell, it's not just one game Larry. There is one game I would then say kuti ano ndirimo magame ese wataura kuti magame mangana asina kugohweswa saka obva wati maplayers chete zvongova zvimwe maplay ndiwo wakaisa maplayers if they're not good enough kwatitoreka treka vamwe mastrike because ndiwo uri kuisa katimu yacho because you can't tell me kuti jezi zemurangu tauro ze player what do you expect ndi player ka you can't attack your coach vafana vaya kwazoenda paside unozoti paya makati kanyira vataura but we can't tell them. I can't come out and say no the players don't want the coach. No, that would be unprofessional for me to do that. Okay. But I'm saying if you were to ask them privately, they will tell you that no, the way this coach is doing his thing is not proper. This is why you find, if you look at Shirewa's language, do you think the boy wanted to play that game? Did you see the way he was playing? He didn't want to play for the team. He was just selfish, and that's not the way Shirewa played in the other games that he played for Zimbabwe. Okay. You could tell the body language can tell you there's something wrong within the team. There's something wrong, all right? Because maybe a player is being played off position, player is not happy with the players that he is playing with. There's a lot that you need to look at when you come up with the national. This is national team, this is not club level, where you can experiment and say, I have 34 games in the league, I can afford to lose 6, and then I'll catch up later. No, this national team, every game counts. Millions and millions of people will be watching the team when it's playing. So let's not play around with motions around. Nees is felt.
That's Wellington Mpandare, former national team general manager. He reckons Michael Nees has dismally failed and is out of sorts and needs to go. Well, lastly, to the football stakeholders, the fans, the media, everyone. Like you rightly said, the Warriors is a team that is loved by millions of Zimbabweans. What is your message to them in terms of where we are and ahead of the AFCON finals in Morocco, in terms of the solutions as far as the team is concerned?
We don't stop supporting. Even if Timmy Kandana is here, we'll keep supporting the team. We don't give up as supporters. As supporters, and I know the supporters never give up. I know them. I talk to quite a lot of them. I'm in groups, so many groups that I'm in. And of course, there are some who are now saying, the national team go support all. This will pay guys with stress. But when mangwana team kangogono tambaka, anodzoka kusupport. But when go win chete one, win inoita vadzoke futi vatanga kusapota team yavo. Tiri kuti isisi even Nisa kanza ndiye aramba aripo ZIFA board yati tiri kustikana Nisa. Who support the team zvairi. Jiwa type of support. And the Zimbabweans amboti later down. Apana chatingambokumbira maZimbabwe support team because they've always been supporting the team, but we have let them down big time. So all I can just encourage the Zimbabweans just to keep supporting the team. Let's believe in the boys. I know one day they will deliver.
One day they will deliver. That was Wellington Mpandare, former national team's general manager. He summed up the Zimbabwe national team's problems in a lot of ways. He reckons it's an interplay of several factors, but chief among them, the coach and failing to do basic things at administrative level. Well, it was a pleasure having you on Larry's Look at the League.
Thank you, Larry.
That was Larry's Look at the League. We'll see you next week.